same attitude too. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I really appreciate the support, and I really want to thank you. I want to thank Ms. Sylvia Jones for opening up her place so that we can be here today, and for the kind words, and Pastor Solomon, Jonathan, and Pastor Madison for the kind words as well, and my beautiful wife. I want to start off by telling you what led me here today. I am the youngest of two kids, and one person who had a really strong impact on my life, obviously, is my mother. She has taught me how to be courageous, how to have perseverance, how to stand up, and how to love, how to be empathetic. My mom had the courage to leave an abusive relationship, to take her two kids, young kids, out of a relationship and start over. And that was a very courageous thing to do, especially when you didn't have anything, and start over in life. My mom worked hard to overcome a lot of stuff. She excelled at her job. She worked 40 hours a week and went back to college and made straight A's. And her whole thing was to graduate from college before I did. And she did a lot better job than I did too. But what I remember growing up is my mom helping out a lot of women who were in bad situations or who needed to change their life and needed an opportunity. She would find employment for them, she would provide a place for them to live, and sometimes she would put money in their pocket. And that instilled in me and fostered the need to help folks and to be there for folks and to be empathetic for people's situation. And Mom, she, no matter how ambitious my dreams were, she never killed my dreams, ever. She never told me I could not accomplish the things that I set out to accomplish. And I want to thank you. Now, I did say I was the youngest of two kids. My older sister, Christy, was diagnosed with cancer when I was in elementary school, and she passed away when I was in the 4th grade. And obviously, her death changed my life. And what I learned was how to love, how to be empathetic, and the importance of a bond between siblings from my sister. And I also learned that at an early age, life is short. And we should thank God every single day that we wake up for giving us the opportunity to enjoy His creation and every day on earth to spend time with our family. And it also taught me that we cannot let other people determine our destiny. That we must have the courage to act to fulfill the destiny that God has for us. I grew up without my father in my life, and obviously that affected who I am today. It helped me understand how important both parents are to their kids, and how the collateral effects of not having both your parents in your life can affect the kid. So I vowed at an early age that I would always be in my children's life, and I've made a commitment to that. And other than the time that I'm running now, I've always been there to coach their teams and to be at their school activities. My belief in myself and what I can achieve in life inspired me to mentor younger kids. all the way from my high school days through today. And I think it's important to give underprivileged kids hope that they can achieve whatever they set their mind to. And the reason why is because these kids are the ones who are being projected as the criminals, as the ones who will be incarcerated. So I think it's important for them to know that their lot in life is not where they are today, but with hard work and determination where they dream to be in the future. I am a product of the public school system. I went to Texas A&M University, and I have a business administration degree in finance, and I went to SMU Law School in Dallas. I earned my Juris Doctorate. And although my wife and I grew up literally a couple of miles down the street from each other, on the same street, we first met in Dallas. She was in dental school in her last year, and I was in law school. And she had been accepted into Harvard for a postgraduate degree, and she went up to Boston. I think we had been dating for 6 months. I said, I gotta wrap this up. This is too good to be true. So I flew up to Boston and I proposed, and we've been married for 12 years. And we have 2 beautiful children, Mackenzie and Dylan. And on March the 10th, 6 days after we're going to be celebrating this victory, it'll be our 13th anniversary. So, what are the issues that I believe where the district is facing and where we need leadership? As a small business owner, it has become apparent to me that the status quo is not working for everybody. Now, it may be working for those people that have been in office for 20, 30, and 40 years and their friends, but it's not working for everybody. We lack a proactive approach to keeping kids out of jail. Texas focuses more on incarcerating kids rather than educating them. And we lack innovative solutions to creating economic opportunities. And you know, from generation to generation, we build on the legacy of the prior generation. That's how we are as a country. That's how we are as a family. We want our kids to do better than what we're doing. And I think that we have not taken the legacy of the prior generation to the next level. Now, how do I believe that we should address these issues? Well, I believe now is the time for us to invest in the 21st century education, to create economic opportunities for those who desire upward mobility, to provide affordable health care, and to promote equality for everyone. I believe now is the time to have a state senator who is actually active, not just around election time, not just when they have a primary opponent, but who is active and engaged in the district. Yeah. I think that's important because when I go around the district, people jump on me as if I'm the elected official because they don't like the fact that these politicians only come around during election time or when they have somebody running against them. We need a state senator who is accessible to the constituents and somebody who can inspire youth to want to achieve in life. And I believe now is the time for the next generation to participate in shaping our future. And you know, I believe experience matters. My wife and I are small business owners, we're entrepreneurs. I'm a problem solver, and I've never, ever shied away from fighting for what is right, even when I was the only person fighting for that cause. And that includes running for state senate for District 15. Because let me tell you, I have been asked not to run. I have been told a whole bunch of things that I couldn't do because of the person I'm running against. But it's not about me and it's not about him. It's about people who live in this district having somebody who is responsive to their needs and somebody who is actually going to be there. practiced law for over 13 years, and I fought against corruption in both the legal and public school system. And I've successfully fought against Fortune 500 companies to protect my clients' interests. I represented people who can't afford an attorney at no charge, and I brought people who literally hated each other together to resolve their disputes as a mediator. I've worked with elected officials to help improve Medicaid laws so that uninsured children and our seniors have adequate access to medical treatment. So I have the personal life experiences and professional experiences that matter to be your next state senator. And that is why I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for state senator for District 15. We have like 2 more pages. Because I have to address some things, okay? Because everyone is asking me, well, Damian, how are you going to be different than your opponent? Well, let me tell you the first thing. Unlike my opponent, John Whitmire, I am not a career politician. Okay? All right. John Whitmire was elected over 40 years ago. He was 23 years old. He dropped out of college to run for office. On his Facebook page, he lists his occupation as state senator. Not lawyer, not lobbyist, but state senator. With all due respect, my opponent is a poster board for a career politician. Now, John Whitmire and his supporters will tell you that the district will be hurt without his seniority, or better yet, his longevity. But I'm asking the people who live in this district, how can anyone in the district be hurt from losing something that they never benefited from? You can't. We differ because John Whitmire is a single-issue politician. He's been the chairman of the Senate Criminal Justice Committee for the past 20 years. Him and his supporters claim he has somehow benefited the community as the chairman of the Senate Criminal Justice Committee. But let me tell you something. This is really important that I want to stress, because this is what they don't say. John Whitmire is responsible for more than doubling the state's prison population between 1993 and 2007. He is known as the person who authored Texas's tough penal code, which increased the inmate population from roughly 64,000 in 1993 when he became chairman to 154,000 in 2007. And Harris County sends more people to prison than any other county in the state of Texas. Now, I want to be clear. I don't want you to get the impression that I want to be soft on criminals and all that other stuff, because people are bad and they deserve to go to jail, but I don't believe that in that 15-year period, 100,000 people deserve to go to jail. I just don't think that they committed the type of crimes that would warrant them in prison. And we know that because we know that there are a lot of non-violent offenders who are occupying these prisons. And I don't think that that is anything to be proud about, and I don't think that we need somebody in Austin who does that. Now, we see John Whitmire running around, trying to get in front of every camera, chasing down the media, trying to be in the paper and on TV, claiming that he's concerned about these kids when, in fact, he wasn't doing this before he found out I was running against him. It's kind of interesting. He's patting himself on the back and he's boasting about reducing the incarceration rate that he is responsible for more than doubling. That's a politician. He broke the glass house, he's picking up the broom, sweeping it, and he wants to take credit for fixing it. And to be honest with you, my opponent doesn't care about the families he's destroyed, the kids who grew up without their parents, or the innocent people who were incarcerated for crimes they didn't commit. And criminal justice is not the only issue that's important to the people living in Senate District 15. This district is diverse and large. There are people, in fact, we have small business owners. We have some people who are unemployed. We have pastors here today. We have parents, grandparents, young professionals, and seniors. Many of you have come from all parts of the district. So the district is big and diverse, and criminal justice is not the only issue that's important. I think we need a state senator who is proactive, not reactive, and one who can tackle more than one issue, who can actually walk and chew gum at the same time. Now, I believe that investing in a 21st century education is essential to preparing our kids to compete in the global economy, and it elevates people out of poverty and keeps them out of jail. And the 21st century education to me is one that incorporates science, technology, engineering, and math as a core curriculum from K through 12th grade for every school, not just Vanguard schools or magnet schools. And it also incorporates it into vocational programs and training. One day I took my car in to get fixed, and the guy told me, look, there's nothing wrong with your engine. We had to reset this computer chip. So every aspect of our life is touched by technology, computers, innovation. And that's the 21st century education. And in fact, these jobs, it's called STEM. STEM jobs drive innovation, they drive competitiveness, they generate new ideas, new products, companies, and jobs. And although in this day and age we all want our kids to go to college and we think that everybody should go to college, college isn't for everybody. The people who work in STEM jobs and who only have a high school diploma, they earn $9 more per hour than their counterparts. So this means that students in Texas will be employable right out of high school. Now Houston is home to the Texas Medical Center, to NASA, to the energy industry. We are Space City, right? Even though we didn't get a shuttle, which bothers me. Houston is a perfect epicenter for a STEM curriculum to thrive and succeed, and I believe that we must implement one as a core curriculum in the public school systems. Because we know that a good quality education starting at an early age is a major factor in lifting people out of poverty and keeping them out of jail. And to me, that's a proactive approach to reforming the criminal justice system. Creating economic opportunities. That's another proactive approach to reforming the criminal justice system. And I haven't heard my opponent talk about any of these issues. Now, he is reactive. So we probably don't see him out there talking about this. But creating economic opportunities for people of all ages and education backgrounds who desire upward mobility and who are willing to work hard to achieve their goal, that will benefit everybody. That will benefit us all. It benefits us because they're employed, they're contributing to the state, to the economy, and it elevates everybody's standard of living. Now, if we address these two issues, and I'm not saying these are the only issues, but if we were to address these two issues, we can substantially reduce the crime rate, which obviously will reduce the number of people in jail, and we can reduce the number of people who will fall victims to crime, which is important, which seems to go overlooked sometimes. We'll have parents in the house raising their kids, rather than destroying families by putting people in jail for minor, nonviolent crimes. See, keeping people out of jail to me is a proactive approach to some of the problems we face. Trying to reform the criminal justice system after people are incarcerated is reactive, and it fails to address the underlying issues. That's another way that we're different. I'm different. That's something I'm going to offer. This is important. Being active in the community is important. My opponent I believe it's important to have a state senator who is active and involved in the district and who is accessible to the constituents. So I believe the next state senator should be more active in communities throughout the district. It is a diverse district. So that we can work with the constituents to develop specific solutions to address their various issues. My opponent is not engaged. He is not active. He is not accessible. While other state senators have 2 and 3 district offices, my opponent only has 1, and that's located in the Heights, and he's always only had 1. District 15 is large. If any of you have talked to me personally and I've shown you the map, it is a big district.
Yes, it is.
It goes as far south as the Museum District. It goes all the way to the West Beltway, as far north as 1960, and as far east as Baytown. Now, having 1 district office in the Heights is not accessible to people who are living in Atascocita, in Humble, in Baytown. It may be accessible to my opponent and convenient for him. It may be down the street from his house, but it's not to the constituents. My opponent isn't even in the 21st century as it comes to being on the internet. Now, last month, he did put up a website, and his friends are teasing him about coming into the 21st century, but that is a campaign website dedicated to promoting himself. He has no website dedicated to providing his constituents with information as to how that they can deal with the issues that they face. And I think that's important. Up until the time he became aware that I was running against him, my opponent has not been engaged or active in the district. And I know this from talking to people throughout the district, most of whom had no idea who their state senator was. No idea. And many of the constituents who are actually active, who occupy positions of leadership in their civic associations, told me that my opponent hadn't been in their community for over 20 years. Some expressed that he had never been to their community to the best of their knowledge. And I want to pose this question, especially to those people here from Acres Homes, because they are working hard for him, those elected officials. When was the last time John Whitmire hosted a community meeting? Now, he's made it a point to attend the community meetings hosted by the elected officials in Acres Homes, but to my knowledge, he hasn't hosted his own community meetings. Not in Acres Homes, not in Bear Station, not in Pleasantville, Montrose, the Heights, or Humble. So as your next state senator, I promise that I will be more accessible. I will have offices that are convenient to the constituents, and I will provide an online resource so that they will know how to deal with the problems that they face. Because now is the time that we have somebody who's actually know about the 21st century and can work a computer. Now, I'm about to conclude. The people in the district have a choice this election, okay, that you haven't had in 22 years. And I'm telling you, and if you know me, you know that I have the courage, the wisdom, the fortitude, the strength, and the experience that matters to be a great state senator. And I'm asking you to give me a chance to be your next state senator. I want the privilege of being your voice in Austin, and it is a privilege. Amen. And let me tell you, this election is important. Because the people in District 15, you have a choice. You could choose to add 4 more years to 40 years of history, or you could vote for the future. And I'm asking you to vote for the future on March 4th, 2014, by voting for me, Damian LaCroix, to be your next state senator for District 15. Thank you.